So the Pixel 10 is here, but don't expect a flashy redesign or wild new gimmicks. Instead, Google just doubled down on refining what already worked, and honestly, might have been the best move they could have made. Let me explain our full review of the Pixel 10, the Pixel 10 Pro, and the Pixel 10 Pro XL. Let's get into it. The Pixel 10 keeps the sleek look we know. Thin bezels, satin metal frame, polished glass back, and a signature matte camera bar. This year, Google's added a bigger G logo to the back and ditched the SIM tray. The Pro model still has the quirky temperature sensor. But heads up, Pixel 9 cases won't fit the new 10 because of slightly larger camera bar and a bit more bulk. Now let's talk about the screens. The Pixel 10 6.3-inch OLED looks great, bright, colorful, and smooth with its 120 Hz refresh rate. But when you jump to the 6.3-inch Pro and 6.8-inch Pro XL, you get sharper resolution, a variable refresh rate down to 1 Hz, and a peak brightness of 3,300 nits. Now on paper, that's just numbers, but in real use, it means HDR videos and outdoor visibility look noticeably better. The Pro models have one of the brightest panels I've seen on a Pixel, so scrolling, gaming, streaming, everything feels smoother and more immersive compared to the base model. Now the standard Pixel 10 is still a solid display with 3000 nits, and another big upgrade, speakers. Google says they improved them, and yeah, I was impressed. The Pro models now have a new top and bottom speaker, while the Pixel 10 just gets a new top one. Playing music at full volume, the sound is surprisingly rich, with punchy bass, clear mids. The Pro definitely sounds fuller than the regular 10, but I don't want to make it sound like it's some sort of Bluetooth speaker. It's not to that level, but it's definitely a big step up from last year and previous Pixel speakers. The new Tensor G5 chip makes the Pixel 10 lineup feel marginally faster than last year's Pixel phones, and also paired with 12 gigs of RAM for the regular model and 16 gigs of RAM on the Pros. So day-to-day, multitasking, on-device AI tasks, and even gaming feels smoother. Though not quite the Snapdragon level we'd hoped for, but maybe one day we'll get there. For the battery, I tested each phone about 10 hours a day from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. with always on display and 120 Hz enabled, running Google Maps, playing Call of Duty Mobile, streaming YouTube music, making a few calls, and messaging across a few apps. Finished the day with an average around 6 hours of on-screen time for all three phones, with the Pixel 10 having around 16% left, the 10 Pro around 21%, and the Pro XL still had 35% in the tank. They all charge relatively fast, not quite the OnePlus and Oppo speeds, but 90 minutes from 0 to 100 for the 10 and 10 Pro, and just over an hour for the XL. And we got to talk about Pixel Snap. This is Google's take on MagSafe and accessory snap on easily. I have a few car phone mounts and a few things I was able to test it. Didn't have any real issues, but we're currently testing a few Pixel 10 cases. Not all Pixel Snap cases are made alike, so if they're too thick and they don't have the magnet ring on the back, then you might have issues where the connection won't stick, so keep that in mind. The Pixel cameras get a notable upgrade this year with its new image signal processor inside of the Tensor G5 chip. So what does that mean? Faster processing, smoother video, and the same pixel photo magic we know and love. The regular Pixel 10 packs a 48 megapixel main, 13 megapixel ultra wide, and 10.8 megapixel telephoto with up to 20x zoom. The main sensor is fantastic. It's what you know and love and expect. However, the drop in megapixels for the ultra wide and the new telephoto lenses are only okay. You can get some good stuff, but you're definitely going to need good lighting. So if you want the absolute best, the Pixel 10 Pro and Pro XL is where it's at. 50 megapixel main, 48 megapixel ultra wide, 48 megapixel telephoto with 5x optical zoom, and a sharp 42 megapixel selfie cam. They're versatile, they're fast, they nail everything from portraits to lowlights. Plus, you get pro-only tricks like manual controls, 50 megapixel high resolution portraits, and ProRes zone up to 100x. Although you'll need steady hands and plenty of light for the latter. And for the most part, it comes out pretty good, but not everything works out. Definitely doesn't work on people that you shouldn't try because it's a creep move anyway. But for some of the stuff, it can get, like I've caught moving planes in the sky, statues on top of buildings, etc., etc. All Pixel 10 models add Camera Coach, which gives you step-by-step tips courtesy of Gemini in real time to nail your shots. And in Google Photos, the editor is redesigned to be cleaner and smarter. You can ask it to edit photos for you, remix photos, and then it can also turn a photo into a short 6-second video. Some of the rules are good, some are creepy, some are just downright bad. The bottom line is that the Pixel 10 keeps its crown as a smartphone camera king. But if you want the very best that Google has to offer, you'll definitely want the Pixel 10 Pro or the Pro XL. Now let's talk software with Android 16. The whole system feels cleaner. There's a new font, new color themes, rounded design elements instead of sharp corners. All the native apps got a redesign. There are some new features here on the Pixel 10, like Daily Hub, which is basically an AI-powered agenda that pulls in your calendar, weather, and suggested news and YouTube videos. Of course, it's in preview mode. It works fine, but honestly, it's not something that I would just use every day. I would just check my calendar. Already has the Pixel weather widget on my home screen, so. But unfortunately, we couldn't get the Magic Queue, which is a, kind of like predictive suggestions within messages and different stuff, or voice translate to translate different languages while you're on a phone call. I couldn't get those to work on any of my 3 review units, even after a lot of troubleshooting, so we'll definitely circle back around and update this or add on to it. And like the iPhone, Google now has a journaling app where you can log your thoughts, images, locations, and such. There's a new My Pixel app, which you can, make purchases, view your purchases, tips and tricks, how-tos, as well as support if you're having issues with your Pixel. The Gboard app gets smarter with AI-powered smart editing and voice typing suggestions, although for me, I still rather just retype and edit myself, but it works as it's supposed to. The Recorder app can now add music to your voice notes by analyzing your audio and matching it to a mood. Other features like Audio Magic Eraser, Call Notes, Gemini Live, Magic Editor, Pixel Studio, Pixel Screenshots, Pixel Weather, all got small updates. Now, Pixel 10 Pro owners get something a little extra. A full year of Gemini AI Pro for free, just like they did last year with the Pixel 9 Pro series. Normally this runs about $240 a year, and it includes access to Gemini 2.5 Pro, limited access to Google's VO 3 video creator, plus 2 terabytes of cloud storage shared across Gmail, Drive, and Photos. So the Pixel 10 is a solid entry-level flagship, but the 10 Pro is really the sweet spot. Great cameras, strong AI features, and still a better deal than the XL, unless you need a bigger screen, more battery, or more storage. If you're on a Pixel 9, maybe hold off, but Pixel 8 and older, this is the upgrade to make. Now, the bigger question, will Pixel 10 series with eSIM, better AI, now MagSafe support finally get iPhone users to switch to Android? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, hit the bell for more. And you could have been anywhere in the world, you're here with us. We appreciate you for doing so, and see you in the next video. Peace.